Today on Recipe Reviver, we are making a sweet and smoky oven barbecued chicken from a now defunct poultry festival. Today's recipe comes to us from the 1966 Delmarva National Chicken Cooking Contest, which was a part of the Delmarva Poultry Festival. And unfortunately, that festival is no longer around, but this recipe, which was the top place in 1966, still is. We're going to start by preparing our chicken. The recipe calls for a couple of pounds of just a cut up whole chicken, so that would be the whole thing from the breast to the thighs to the legs to all of it. But I did not have a whole chicken here at the house that was ready to go and thawed, so I have some chicken thighs here that I'm going to be using. And you know, you could do this with just chicken breast, you could do this with just thighs, you could do it with whatever you've got. You could do it as it says with a whole cut up chicken, but whatever you've got, you're just going to put it into a glass baking dish. And then I've got an onion here that has been sliced, and we're gonna throw that all around our chicken. And after that, I've got a half cup of water that is going to go over the top of this. And we're going to bake the chicken about halfway before we actually add the barbecue part of this. But let me just make sure I have everything ready to go here. So we're just going to put some salt and pepper. I've got a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper here that I'm going to put over the top. And then the recipe calls for hickory smoked salt, which I did not have at the house either. So I was looking up online some substitutes that I could use for hickory smoked salt, and it says that you could use a smoked paprika to add some of the smoked flavor in, so that's what I did. I have a teaspoon of salt here, and then, I don't know, about 1/8 to 1/4 of a teaspoon of smoked paprika, just to give that some of the smoky flavor. And then this is going to go into the oven at 375 degrees for half an hour. While your chicken is baking, you can get your barbecue sauce ready to go, because when we pull this out at the half-hour mark, we're going to be pouring this over the top and then cooking it for an additional half hour. I have a half cup of just regular ketchup here. I have 2 tablespoons of mustard, prepared mustard, and we're gonna mix those together along with a half cup of maple syrup. And we have a half cup of oil and some vinegar. And then we're just going to whisk that together, and we'll be ready for when the chicken comes out of the oven. Now that our chicken's been in the oven for half an hour, we are going to pour the barbecue sauce that we created over the top and then put it back in the oven for another half hour at that same temperature of 375 degrees. This is a lot milder flavored than I had anticipated it being. It's a very juicy, moist chicken, and the onions definitely added some flavor to the chicken. I think this really is a good barbecue sauce, but it's not what I think of when I typically think of barbecue sauce. However, with that said, I really do think this is a really great way that you could have an easy way within an hour to have a meal on the table when you've got a busy weeknight or something like that. And most of this is all ingredients that you already have in your fridge. with the ketchup and the very basic ingredients that are here. I would recommend you do this if you, like I said, have a busy weeknight, want to just throw something in the oven. Very little muss and fuss. This was ultra super easy as far as a main dish goes. Check it out. We'll see you next time on Recipe Reviver.